perfect body, perfect scenario, but we know that that's a far ways away. And so what I do and what I coach my coaches to do.
Welcome to Memoirs of a Fitness Trainer podcast. I am your host, Ryan Tullis, and we are joined by a new host to the show, Aaron Saltzman with Ultra Elite Fitness down in LA, Southern California. We are growing and expanding. Aaron, say hello, my man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to joining, both you and the crew here. I think this is going to be an amazing journey that I'm ready to step in with you guys. I personally have been in the fitness world for about 15 years. Opened up my own gym out here in Orange County, and looking to always continue to grow and step into new lights. So I'm looking forward to joining y'all.
I appreciate you, reading off those cue cards we sent you before the actual show. It's really helpful. If you want to give my business a shout out too, that'd also be helpful as well. But anyway, moving on. Today we are talking about how to get a client started in their fitness journey. How to get someone from when they walk into working with you as trainer on getting them started to success. And not only just getting them to actually get progress, but the other side is getting them to actually stick with you and stay successful within your program. Because though every program and every trainer has a different process in how they go about it, there are some kind of, you should probably do these things to get us going. I mean, Aaron, how important do you think having a set process or a set kind of standard operating procedure when clients walk in, how important is that?
Yeah, I think it's essential. I mean, without it, you want to make sure that they feel safe, comfortable, heard. It's a journey for them. They're going to be on, this could be anywhere between a 6-month to a couple-year journey. And so they need your help, your support, and your hand-holding to get them through the process to fully commit. And we know it takes a long time to see results. So the happier we can make them and the more safe and secure we can make them feel, the better chances are that they're going to stick around to actually see those results that they're, hiring you for.
Love that, dude. I mean, what's your guys' process look like? I mean, I'm assuming you have a general process, right?
We do, of course, yeah. So our process is, it's really coddling the client, making the client really feel safe, heard, and at home. But our process is we bring them in and we go through an assessment and a consultation. We run them through all different types of body metrics. So we do analytics of where they're at now and show them actual proven numbers and where we want them to be. And so we put together a format based off of that. And that is designed for their strength and conditioning program, their cardio outside of it, their nutrition, and making them really feel like that it's a whole package, right? Like we want to make them feel that we're not just your coach when you hire us for an hour in the gym. We're your coach throughout this entire process. And we're going to hold your hand throughout this entire process in every aspect that's going to be needed, because we know the difficulty areas, right? It's not just how to do an exercise. It's also accountability. It's nutrition. It's getting themselves to stay motivated, right? And so us as coaches, we have to have the due diligence to make sure that we're covering all those boxes and not just the simple one of, are we there for the hour of their workout?
Dave, that's huge. And making sure that people are being heard. That's one kind of in the last few years I've really been trying to hammer down on, is when someone walks in, we're so quick, or at least I used to be. I've noticed with a lot of trainers is we're so quick at we know what people need, but we forget that, hey, this person's a part of the journey too. And they do have to feel heard. And what do you think on that?
Yeah, I think that's 100% accurate. I think a problem with us as fitness professionals is we're seeing the view through our lens and not through our clientele. And so we have to have what they call this alligator brain, and basically thinking from somebody who's starting from the very beginning, right? And unfortunately, a lot of us lose sight of that because we're so far along in the journey. We've been doing this for 10, 20, whatever plus years. So we have to start fresh, and we have to understand that every client is going to be starting at a different point in that journey. So we need to make sure that we meet them where they're at, and not only that, take it at the pace that they need us to take it at, right? So it's really important that every single program and every single client is treated differently, and it's not just a copy and paste program.
Dude, that's huge. Gonna need you to define what alligator brain is. I'm hoping our editor can throw some B-roll of a alligator face just like right over you. Tommy, that's an idea for you.
100%. Yeah. The term just basically means going back to, instead of using the brain that is well developed, is using the part of the brain that is not as fresh. It's a business term that they taught us, but it's basically just meeting them where they're at and getting in the mindset of taking them through this journey at the pace that they need.
Yeah, that's huge. I like that a lot. It's the first time I've ever heard that term. I'm like, I think I know where you're going here, but do is alligator like an elephant or something? It's got some like weird memory thing that I just don't know about.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I mean, how important is setting goals when clients first come in and making sure that I guess a better way to put it is when a client comes in, we try to set goals, and that's an important part of someone's journey. But do you try to use their words, or do you try to kind of codify it a little bit more and use the correct terminology when you set goals in the beginning?
Yeah, I think goal setting is really important. And I think, again, it's based off of who you're speaking with. But when it comes to goal setting, they obviously have their final goal that they want to accomplish, right? They have that perfect body, perfect scenario, but we know that that's a far ways away. And so what I do and what I coach my coaches to do is to make sure that we set small, obtainable goals along the way. And so that way they get to celebrate these small wins, because it really keeps a client driven when they're seeing progress. The one problem is if their goal is 100-pound weight loss, and we're not celebrating those small wins, all they're really doing is saying, man, I'm still 95 pounds away from my goal. This goal is never ending. But if we set a goal for the first time that they complete their first mile without stopping, right? If that's a goal for them, then now they get that celebrated win, and it gives them another boost to get to the next level. And so I think that, I think setting goals is really important, but even more so, celebrating those small goals and setting them up for success, because it can be daunting. I mean, it can be a very daunting, and motivation only lasts so long. And so that's where we step in and try to keep them driven to keep the mindset towards their overall goal.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Some of the things that I try to coach people for, because people come to me and my team for weight loss. Like almost 9 out of 10 of our clients, that's all they care about is, I want to see the scale say this number. I want this pant size to go from this to that. And a lot of what we'll try to coach them towards is less focused on the weight goal, because we know they're going to focus on it. No matter what we do or say or how we phrase it, you could talk about someone's mile time and how exciting that is. They don't give a shit. They're sitting there going, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds. So do you find that you run into any contrast with that people get kind of, we'll say, tunnel vision around what their goal is, and they kind of can't see the progress through the weeds, for lack of a better way of putting it?
Absolutely. I think that's a huge thing, and it can be a killer, right, for whether a client's going to stay or go. Because you're right, they are after that one specific goal, and they don't have time on their hands to stress about the little things, right? They go to work every day. They're busy people. They want to come in, pay their trainer, have their trainer get them to their goal, and that way that they can be, in however long sitting at that goal and feeling better about themselves and things like that. So I do think it is absolutely crucial to keep them checked in, and to make sure you're setting up a program that's going to realistically get them to the goal when you say you're going to get them to the goal, right? If you tell them, hey, we're going to lose 100 pounds in 3 months, you're really setting yourself up for failure. Or, if you say we're going to do this in a year and a year goes by and they've only lost 20 pounds, well, you really have to meet them again where they're at and put together a design program that's going to reach the goal that you promised them that you're going to get them to if they follow it, right? I mean, it's definitely a two-way street. They have to put in the work. It's not like you're just paying a coach and magically you're going to, reach the results that you're shooting for. But if they follow the program, then your program better damn sure, meet its end whenever you say it's going to.
Dude, I agree with that. But I'm on one hand, I'm like, all right, the businessman, I want to follow through on the value offer I've given. Like there's that side of me, which I do like a lot. But as well as I do, the best laid plan for training and fitness and nutrition and in general goes out the window in like a month and a half. And you have to constantly be almost recreating the wheel as you're going, or in a way, you're kind of building the ship as you go. Like, yes, you set a plan, but all right, this person thinks they can train 6 days a week and, they think that they can follow this hyper strict eating plan, and then they get 3 days in and it's like, oh, this is really, really hard.
Absolutely.
And I feel we need to, almost as the practitioners, we do know, and we've seen the million reps. We've seen the million people kind of try to go through everything, and like, all right, we know what the average person can kind of take on. Do you have a point in your coaching process at the beginning where you kind of do a reality check? It's something I've been kind of playing around with a little bit.
Yeah, I think a big thing is you really have to know when to pivot. It's just like in business, right? I mean, you can create a well-defined business plan, but wrenches are going to be thrown in that daily, and you're going to have to learn to pivot and go to different avenues. Same thing with a workout program. Somebody might be too, like you said, ambitious, and they say that they can do more than they can, and they bite off more than they can chew. Well, you have to pivot in order to, to substitute their abilities, right? So that is a big thing. I think that happens daily, whether it even is an injury, right, or lack of ability to hold their nutrition together. So we really do, as trainers, have to be able to pivot on the daily and not to stick to a script. So yes, I think that is really important.
Dude, I like that. Yeah, I think a lot of times we want to give like the expectation, and we want to feel super confident in our recommendation because people come to us for that, right? Like they're here because we know what we're talking about. But on the other side of it, yeah, if you follow my plan perfectly to the T, yeah, I'm gonna get you where you need to go. Like I can get most anybody to get anywhere within a estimated period of time.
Right.
But that person lives their life, and you do kind of have to have that reality check, I feel like. That's huge, man.
I feel like the most important piece, right, to any training program is just getting your clients to be consistent. I mean, we can write up a perfect plan, a perfect workout. It is what it is. The big thing is, can you get your client to consistently come back? And by making them come back, they're going to get to their result. I'd say 90% of programs out there are going to work, right? 90% of diets out there are going to work. It's, can you stick with it? Can you be consistent? And so I believe that the most important part in a program is not necessarily the program itself, but keeping a client engaged and properly excited about, their journey.
I'll give you one kickback on that. I agree with everything you just said, but the goal is not to get someone to come back, it's to get them to want to come back.
Absolutely.
I think that's so huge because, I'm sure you've had clients over the years the same way as I have, and most trainers will probably agree to this. But yeah, they're showing up, but day one, they're super excited to be there and meet with you. Day 100, it's, oh no, I got to go see
the kickback. The kickback is, how do you get them excited to come back every day, right? Like, how do you get them to look forward to their next workout? Is it personality? Do they feel like that they're accomplishing something? Like, what is it that you're providing that's getting them looking forward to coming to the gym, right? Because that's my biggest thing. It's like, if they don't want to come, eventually they're not going to come, right? Like, if it's like a dreadful thing and it's I have to go to the gym instead of I get to go to the gym or I'm looking forward to going to the gym, they're not going to stay consistent. And so I think that is exactly it, is exactly what you said. It's important to get them to want to come back and not have to come back.
I like that a lot, man. Yeah, that's so huge. And I feel because people come to us because they want progress. Like that's what people walk into the door with. But I feel like you almost have to prioritize the enjoyment, the want, more so than you do the actual progress. Because as much as people say that, like, oh, I need to lose the 40 pounds, like I'm like they're so desperate and emotion driven towards getting there. So like I feel like as trainers, we almost want to meet the emotion, going, oh man, like this person needs results. Yeah, but are they going to really care that much about results in a month when things start really hurting? When, oh yeah, I've been hungry. Oh yeah, I can't drink as much as I want to, or
Right.
I can't go out to on dates or X, Y, and Z as much, and the sacrifice starts to kind of bleed in. You know,
Right.
that day
It's
one motivation, there's day 50.
Yeah, it's something that we want to create a sustainability for, right? Something where a client can live their life and be a happy person and still seeing results. And, we have to find that as the coach because we obviously have been in position ourselves. We've trained ourselves like that, or we were that strict on our diet. But not everybody wants to do that, right? Not everybody's willing to do that. Not everybody wants to be miserable in order to get to their result. Just because we've crossed that path doesn't mean that we have to coach other people the way that we've coached ourselves in the past. It's something that needs to be a sustainability. It's something that they can enjoy the process and, have fun while doing it. And if you do that, they're going to keep coming through that door and then they're going to see the results and then they're never going to leave training with you because they got to that ultimate goal that they were shooting for since day one.
Dude, I like that a lot. And something I've been trying to play around with because there's no one size fits all, and you're in coaching. Just hopefully I'm not bursting anybody's bubble out there, but you're always learning. You're never going to make it to a point where you're not having to redefine and refine and just make your practice better and expand. But what I've been playing around with is at the beginning, do you kind of let it be known, hey, what's more important is your enjoyment and you'd actually like this, or do we kind of just, for lack of a better way of putting it, just like bold-faced lie to our clients going, hey, priority is the progress is everything we want, but on the back end and like the back of your head, you're kind of going, all right, yeah, that's important, but like I need to get this person to enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, so I prep them by literally just telling them like this is gonna become like I instill it in their brain like this is gonna become an addiction. Like you're gonna fall in love with this. Like and then whenever they see the little progresses or they their weight start to go up or if they're looking to build strength or their weight loss starts to go down, I make it very known and exciting that they are winning, right? Because if again when they see those wins all of a sudden there's like little excitement and endorphins that go off. They're like, oh my God, like I can actually do this. Like, oh, cool. I can't wait to come back tomorrow and do it again. So I really instill in their mind that this is going to be a fun journey, that fitness doesn't have to be difficult, that fitness doesn't have to be daunting, and that, that they can show up, have a good workout, and still enjoy the process and enjoy living a normal life, right? Like not being completely perfect on their diet and actually breaking up what nutrition really is. I feel that is the biggest fear in most people out there is they fear nutrition or feel like they have to be perfect. And us as fitness professionals know that there is a balance when it comes to eating properly and fueling the body properly. And so I think bringing that to their attention and making that an awareness is important as well.
Dude, I love that. And I actually pivoted to my next point. But before we kind of go into that side a little bit more, I do want to kind of wrap a bow on the mindset and goal setting for this, because that's such a huge portion of it. And I feel like we focus so much on progress. because it's like what people come into. So just if you were to give a, say, 30, 40-second kind of bow on what we've kind of talked about so far, how would you define setting goals and how important focusing on sustainability over progress actually is?
Yeah, I think it's everything. I think in my expertise, and this is actually a game plan that I have moving forward with my gym whenever I open up my bigger facility, is mindset coaching comes first. I mean, you have to get the mind right before you get the body right. And I mean, they go hand in hand. And I feel that mindset's even more important. So in my next facility, we're actually going to offer mindset coaching to where people will sit down and really break open their fears, their obstacles that they need to overcome, and what is actually the reason why they're not getting fit. Not other than I'm just not working out or not showing up to the gym. Like, what's the reasons behind that? And so I think mindset is absolutely everything when it comes to our fitness journey. And in my gym, and I hope other trainers take this on as well. But I think that needs to be a stepping stone for us all to conquer as trainers, is getting people's minds right in order to get the body right.
Dude, I like that a lot. That's kind of an interesting way to go about it, with like specific coaching just around that. I've never thought like so much about that, because it's so intertwined with what nutrition is.
Yeah, and it's just every single one of my clients, I mean, that I've worked with, there's just an underlining reason why they are where they're at, right? Whether it be a past trauma, whether it be an addiction to this or that, there's always an underlining reason to why they are either overweight or they haven't obtained their goals. And so obviously when it comes to personal training, mindset coaching should be involved, but I think there needs to be so much more of a deep dive into, there's not enough time in your workout to talk to somebody really truly about why they're at where they're at, or why are they coming to hire you, right? What is their why? Why can't they do this on their own, right? What is their purpose of coming to see you? And so I think that mindset coaching needs to be established into a personal training environment. And, we need to get to the bottom of why they're actually showing up.
Setting mindset, understanding limitations, and kind of how someone's past got them to where they are. To understand it, it's not that, oh, you just suck, or, oh, I'm just, kind of a lack of a better way of putting it, oh, I'm just a fat piece of shit. Like, no.
Right? Yeah, we need
none of these things.
We need to unravel, right? We got to find out how you got there, so that way we can undo it, right? Because yes, I can get you to, let's say you want to lose 40 pounds. Okay, I can get you to 40 pounds. Okay, so what happens when you're at 40 pounds and you stop seeing me? Are you going to reverse back? Right? Are you going to gain those 40 pounds back? Well, not if I teach you the mindset on how to not gain those 40 pounds back, right? So I truly believe that there's so much more to our jobs as fitness professionals than giving somebody a good, successful workout and getting them to their goal, right? I think we need to backtrack, uncover, unravel, and refix the mind on getting these clients to not only their goal, but to make sure that they're not falling back to their old habits.
Like that. So setting goals and understanding that they need to be objective, because we can't just say, I want to be skinny. All right, you're never going to get there, versus like actually losing an objective amount of weight, or I want to lose this off my pant size, but making sure we're breaking it up into well-defined, easily attainable SMART goals, essentially. And being able to actually hit these things and celebrating them is huge. And kind of beyond that part, shifting into attacking the mindset past that as well, because yes, progress is important, but people need to enjoy it, but people also need to understand the long-term focus of what we're actually doing, because it's not just to lose the weight, right? It's, lose it and keep it off. That's the important part in my book.
Yeah, more than just fitness professionals, I believe we are habit professionals, right? We need to learn how to make habits, keep habits, and not only ourselves, we need to learn how to coach others on creating and establishing these habits, because that is where success is driven. It's in your day-to-day, what you're doing on the daily, and it all adds up, right? It's a compound effect of time. Everything will add up and ultimately get you to either success or lack thereof. So we need to coach more people on habits and not just, how to lift weights.
Dude, I like that a lot. And kind of a cool part you put in there is habits in ourselves. And this is something I've been kind of playing around on, how you coach a trainer on getting someone to get proper habits and building consistency. It has to start with you. And not just you as the athlete, because I think that's where we tend to shift our focus to, is like, well, yeah, I'm helping this person get in shape or lose weight. Look at me and my abs, or look at how, I've been doing fitness for 20 years.
Right.
It's no, you in your business and your practice as a trainer, you need to be hyper consistent, because you're showing that as a representation of that, of your actual teaching. They don't see, you doing crunches every morning. They don't see you going on that 1 mile run every night, or whatever it is that you're doing that you're so hyper consistent about.
Right, and I feel like this is the miss in the industry. Social media is obviously the big component here. People sell these programs, fitness, nutrition, whatever, right? Do as I do, and you'll get the results that I have, right? And it's just so false, because the one thing that they're missing, the one thing they're not coaching, is their habits, right? How are you getting to this success? Yeah, you're giving me your workout, but there's so much more to it than just the workout that you're doing at hand, right? What are the habits behind it? What time are you getting? How many hours of sleep are you getting, right? What's your recovery like? Like, what's the nutrition like? There's just so much more that's not being unraveled in all these online programs. And so in my opinion, it's, a false advertisement, in a sense of people are not going to get the results that they're paying for without establishing the habits that need to be made.
I feel personally attacked with you bringing up sleep, not gonna lie.
Bro,
feel like
it's a
you're
big
coming
one in
after
my
me.
gym, man. It's a big one in my gym. Clients will show up 5 hours of sleep. You're not going to get through one of my workouts with 5 hours of sleep. It's just not going to happen. And on top of that, we obviously know the benefits of sleep and what it can do for either a weight loss journey or just recovering from your overall success of the weights that you're lifting. But yeah, it happens every day in my gym. We talk about sleep or lack thereof, and I literally go to bed, like, just get your ass in asleep by, no later than 10 p.m. And so it's another one of those habits that we need to coach because of the benefits that we know sleep brings. So Ryan, get your ass to sleep.
I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to build a fitness empire and conquer the world.
There
Change
you
a
go,
million
man.
lives in a calendar month.
God.
I got priorities. I'm not that important anymore. But Ryan the athlete's hung up his cape. I'm getting other people there. I can have a heart attack at 62.
You're doing a good job, man. So sleep or lack thereof, you're doing good, bro.
Appreciate you, man. That's cool though. I like the fact that coaching habits, and actually kind of sparked an idea and something I'm horribly inconsistent about. And it's showing my consistency with my habits on social media. And I wonder, is that something a lot of fitness professionals have a miss on, especially when you start going after, honestly, business building? Like when you're trying to build an empire, posting your story on Instagram loses importance. And I feel that might be a miss when you start really going after a bigger business.
Can you explain this out? What was the saying that you don't post habits? Explain that.
Showing what you do. So think we'll use Instagram as our platform to talk about. So taking a picture of you waking up and doing your weigh-in that you're telling your clients to do every day.
Okay.
You going to the gym, and yes, all right, no one cares about you doing your bicep curls, bro. But going and taking pictures and showing, hey, yeah, I'm going and working out. Yeah, I do weigh my food because I'm asking you to weigh your food. Or one that I coach a lot is, if you're tracking your calories, you need to build your days of eating in advance. Well, do I do that? And do I show myself doing that?
Yeah, I think again, going back to social media, and I'm just not the biggest fan. It's all flashy, right? And the the little things in the fitness world of habits is not flashy, and so it's hard. Everybody wants to impress on social media. Everybody wants to post their cool workouts or like them doing these crazy things when it's the little things that matter, right? So what I think is more beneficial is somebody like you or somebody like me on YouTube posting our day-to-day, something that's not flashy, but following our daily lifestyle, right? What is it that we do on a day-to-day? And, I wake up at X time, I take my protein shake at this time, whatever, I go to the gym this many days a week, right? So because those are the things that are going to get you to the results, not the flashy workout that those influencers are posting. Yes, do they have nice physiques, and so that's why people are impressed by them? Yes, that's a big thing. But what is it that they're really doing to get those physiques? And that is the small daily habits. So a day-to-day on YouTube is much more beneficial than something that you're going to find on Instagram or TikTok.
I would have to imagine some type of parallel would probably be better, because that's very YouTube circa 2014, 2015 in the fitness verse, right? Like every fitness influencer was like, come along with my day of eating, or come along with my workout, X, Y, and Z, yada yada. And like I feel like that's honestly, which I don't necessarily want to say like as a industry we should go back to that, because it had its own problems. But I feel that might be something that's missing out in a lot of trainers' lives, is we just don't show ourselves doing it enough, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in my personal life, the reason why I always have shied away from it is in my mindset, it's like, oh, nobody cares. Nobody wants to see the boring stuff, right?
Yep.
Nobody wants to see me doing little things. Like, that's not exciting, right? I need to post something that's going to get engagement and likes and views. And in all reality, we're doing our clients and everybody else watching a disservice, because we're not really actually giving them the necessary tools, right? We're hiding behind the image that we're looking to build of ourselves, and missing what these people actually need. And so even having this conversation with you now is giving me ideas on what I want to do as a coach and as a fit model. Is I want to really get out there and do the boring stuff, right? Let me show you the boring stuff, and let me show you how it's really done, versus trying to be flashy and trying to look good doing it.
You used my favorite word 3 times in a 30-second clip, Aaron. You're my favorite person we've had on so far. I'm so happy to have you here as a host. Boring.
What word?
Boring.
Boring? Yeah, that's
boring
right.
Fitness
boring
coach.
Fitness coach.
I fucking love it.
Dude, it's the true statement, and it's just the miss. It's the miss in our industry. Everything nowadays is, they want to be sexy, they want to look good doing it. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to be boring, and boring brings success. Do the little things, do them right, do them daily. It's not sexy, but that is what's going to get these clients to their results.
Dude, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I kind of taking it back to what you're saying there. It's people don't need the what, they need the how. They don't need, hey, eat this and get there. It's, all right, well, how do you eat that? And not like, teaching someone to eat, but essentially fitting habits into lifestyle, and how do you navigate them? Because, well, no one's day is the same. Like, even if you work a normal 9 to 5 and you do have some type of structure, every day has its own challenges, its own thing that comes up. You spill your coffee in your lap this day, and now you're 15 minutes behind. One kid throws up here. It's, how do you navigate the real life things that come up so often? I agree. I think it's insecurity almost, at least in my part, is I don't want to show myself as human. I want to be the guy. I want to be infallible.
You hit it on the head. It is insecurity that we put on ourselves. And in all reality, like I said, we are doing a disservice to our clientele by not giving them the true meat, right? The true meat is the little things that we got to do in our day in order to get people to that result. but we are insecure in the sense of we want to be the guy. We want to be, what everybody looks at is flashy and, the best trainer in the world. And so, yeah, we have to learn how to take a step back, put our insecurities to bed, and, think about what our clientele actually really needs, which is, us showing our day-to-days.
Being human. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
being
coaching
human.
people through being human.
Relatability, right? Relatability is everything to these people. They don't want to follow a trainer that they don't ever see themselves being able to get to their fitness physique, right? They're like, oh, this person's way light years ahead. They're never going to be able, it's just now they're insecure, right? They want a trainer that's relatable. Oh, what is their daily habits? What is their mistakes that they make? What is their, do they sometimes cater to bad eating habits, right? Like they want to know that we're human too, right? And that they can follow in the footsteps of somebody that is not, an alien of sorts in the fitness world.
So what you're saying is I need to get in worse shape. All right. I feel personally attacked on that one again. That's a lie. I'm horribly not in bodybuilding shape right now. Donuts are great.
Hey, same, man. I'm on a bulk right now, dude. We're going into winter right now, right?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for that Croatia trip, man. I gotta bulk up to cut down for it.
I'm trying to build up now so I can start cutting down, mid-February or March or whatever. But putting on some mass now and then looking into the cut later. I'm enjoying this process.
Oh, dude, it's great. I mean, have you tried pizza? It's fantastic.
100%. Yeah.
No, but I feel like this is the type of stuff that people miss out on a lot. Is we're vain, we mess up, we get insecure, we like. I almost don't want to not wear a jacket right now because I know, the love handles are peeking out just a little bit, as ridiculous as that is. But sharing these types of relatable moments, these types of things where it's like, now I fell off the diet last month, or I wasn't supposed to drink this last weekend, but man, I was just out having a good old time, and I chose to do it anyway. I think that's so important.
I make it very like with every single client I have, I make it very, very specific of how I mess up and when, right? I want them to know, right? Because then they feel okay about their mess ups. The thing is a lot of people, when they eat a donut, they beat themselves into the ground, have pizza, right? To a point where they're just like, I just can't do this. This is just not for me, right? Like, I don't know how people are so perfect, right? Because that's the problem, is we portray perfection, and I make it so known to my clients. Oh man, yeah, I did terrible last night. I had a pizza. I had a shake with it, right? Like I got 3 hours of, like, I make it very known that I mess up, so that way they don't feel so terrible about their mess ups. Because we know mess ups are going to happen, but it's what you do for the sustainable long haul of things, right? Like if you mess up, who the fuck cares, right? Get back on the horse and keep going. That one mess up meant nothing. But when you beat yourself up, that one mess up turns into weeks and weeks and weeks or months of mess ups. That's when things start to unravel and people start to, spasm out and go the wrong way. And so for me, I make it so clear and known that I fuck up all the time, right? I want them to feel that so that they don't feel so bad about themselves.
Dude, I love it. And it's giving me an idea here, which is, I love that you were talking about the ideas that this conversation brings, because that's the whole point of the podcast in general is we're all coaches, we're all trainers, we own businesses, whether you work in a gym or what have you, or like that's essentially what a lot of this podcast is for, is just spark the idea, have the conversation, be open and free about what it is that we're actually doing.
Yeah.
But I have a challenge for you, and something that I'll commit to as well, and I'll beat Tyler over the head until he agrees to it too.
You got it.
We'll film a day of our lives going into eating, our workouts, everything, and we put it up. I know you've got a YouTube channel. I've got mine outside of the podcast. I know Tyler has his.
Yeah.
For us to put that up there and kind of show what it is we actually do, how we go about it, and kind of reveal the insecurity, so to speak. What do you think?
I like that. I like that a lot. And it's kind of giving me idea of like something on YouTube being the perfection side, right? Showing like the perfect side that people see and only know. And then on another scale or even side by side, the insecurities and the fuck ups on the other side, right? Like, so that way they get to see the best of both worlds. What's shown on camera and what's the perception of a trainer, right? And what the reality is on the other end, right? So it's like, because you're right, we have the insecurities, we have the mess ups, we have everything that they have that they don't see in us. Just because we have fought our fights, we've battled our demons or whatever you want to call it to get to this point. We just haven't given up, right? That's the biggest thing, is we have never given up on our goals, no matter what obstacles we have to face. And so I think that's the biggest thing to coach our people on, is that's the way to success. It's not perfection. It's overcoming obstacles and never allowing yourself to give up.
Dude, I like that a lot. Yeah. Tyler and I have talked about that a lot on here with the athlete's mindset. When an athlete gets hurt, like, what do? We attack the problem, we get after it, we adjust, and we try to either fix it or let us hold us back as little as possible. I mean, I know you just recently had a pretty big shoulder injury, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, like thinking back to like us,
rotator cuff tear in my left shoulder.
Yeah, like thinking back to us in Louisiana for Mardi Gras, dude, you were in the gym with us working out every day, getting after it. Well, not every day. There was that one in there. Yeah. We don't talk about.
Hey, we were at Mardi Gras, but again, there's the lack of perfectionist, right? I didn't need to be perfect. I knew that if I made it in 2 out of the 3 days, I'd be all right. But again, lack of perfection, right?
Tyler getting up at like 6 a.m. to go for a run. Like, what a
Dude's
sociopath.
Yeah, dude is a freak. Like, but in a good way, because it's all from a positive place. Like, he has such a positive mindset around, taking care of himself mentally first and then physically, right? And so, but yeah, that dude is a monster.
No, yeah, but it's just that whole thing of we always move forward in spite of the mess ups, despite what's going on. Like, actually partially tore my TSL, a little tendon in my wrist about 4 or 5 weeks ago, thereabouts, and it's really not stopped me from doing most of anything. Like, yeah, I gotta wear a brace around my wrist, and I do have to be careful around it in the gym when I'm weightlifting, so I have to use straps for pretty much everything. But it's not stopped me. It's just, all right, I needed to pivot. I need to deal with it, of course.
That's where I was just about to go with that. This takes it right back into the conversation we had with clientele and a perfect program. There's no such thing, because even us as coaches, we have to pivot. Situations arise, whether physically or, mentally or whatever, environmentally, like things always arise. And so you have to know how to pivot just to keep the engine going. Because it doesn't matter if you're going 20 steps ahead or 2 steps ahead, you're still going ahead. And in the effect of overall time, you're going to see massive success, even if you're taking one tiny step a day of positivity, right? And so you will eventually get there. It might take a little longer, but you'll eventually get to where you're trying to go if you just don't give up and don't, stand still.
Look, the ironic thing is when you're patient and you do allow yourself the time to mess up and get to where you need to go, you end up making it there quicker than the guy that's like white knuckling it and constantly going forward, falling off.
The tortoise versus the rabbit story, right? Like, I mean, it really is slow and steady wins the race. And that goes for every little piece of fitness. I mean, in anything in fitness, right? I mean, in anything reaching success in business, anything you want, it's really slow and steady wins the race. What can you do to keep yourself moving forward? Because burnouts are a real thing, and they will have a drastic effect on your success versus if you just take it one little step at a time And, it'll be a slow process, but you'll get there evidently fast.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to teach clients to get their kind of mind around. Going slower is faster. That old slow is smooth and smooth is fast mentality applied to learning any skill, but athletics and long-term weight loss, long-term athletic performance is so true.
So I actually really like that. And I have a question for you with your clientele is because that's a big thing. Clients, when they come in, they're excited. They're ready to go. They want to take on the world. They want to train 6 days a week. They want to, cut their calories. They want to be perfect on their diet. So my question to you is, how do you kind of get them off that high horse and bring them to light of, hey, this is a journey. We're in this together, but I need you to take a much more small approach to the success? How do you run that with your clients? How do you kind of get them from that crazy excited state to more of, as you would call it, the boring state?
Ooh, love that. I like we were talking about before, you do have to meet each client individually. So if I had a client who I know in their history has lost weight but put it back on again, I'm going to lean into that because I'm always going to try to attach things to emotion when I want to make a change. So if you can get someone to have an emotional response to making a change to where they're like, oh, I don't want to regain weight again. Great. This is what we need to do to make a change so that doesn't happen again. That fear and that disappointment and just kind of generally self-loathing that the average client has from having done that, if you attach that to, hey, you tried to go quick last time. That's what happened. That's what made you feel that way. We're going to go the other way this time.
Nice.
And I promise you, ironically, you going slower will get you there faster, but also it's going to keep it off, which is the whole goal.
Exactly.
So it really is just meeting the person where they're at and what they have going on. Some people, it might be a much more blunt conversation of, hey, the goal is not to lose weight. It's to never have to lose it again, right? And like just straight put it on them. Because
I literally told that to a client yesterday, I believe, or maybe the day before. It was those exact words, right? And, it is, I can usually tell within the first 10 minutes of talking to somebody in a consultation if they're if they're really ready for what's to come, right?
Oh, yeah.
If they start throwing some crazy things at me, like for instance, I want to train here 6 days a week, and I want, to be perfect with my macro, like whatever it may be, I can instantly tell if somebody's ready for the journey or not, and how far I have to really dive in. Because first, if somebody comes at me with that kind of attitude, first I got to fix that attitude, right? First, I have to fix like, hey, this is actually more of our realistic goal and approach versus the approach you're coming at. So that's the challenge, I'd say, with a lot of clients is they want instant gratification. They want things in a month. And so it's really having to channel them into a different approach than what they came in, the energy that they came with.
I like that. How do you phrase that conversation when you have the guy coming in? Because I think that's a pretty common one. Like very rarely do you get the person that comes in going like, hey, I just want to lose 20 pounds this year and I can train twice a week. It's like very rarely do you get a measured response guy. More often than not, it's 6 days a week and I'm going to do fasted cardio and cold plunge, and you're like, dude, you've never worked out a day in your life. Like, I don't think it's going to work.
Right. They're trying to bite off more than they can chew. And usually that's the conversation I'll have with them is, I say, hey, we're going to get you to that goal, but I want to set a goal that's going to be obtainable for you. And so how about this? How about we start off with, I don't know, I'd say let's start off with 3 days a week for the first 2 or 3 months and just kind of get you settled in. This allows them to kind of slow the process down a little bit. And then I say after those 2 to 3 months, once I can visually see that you're prepared and ready for it, we can turn it into that 4, 5, 6 day a week, battle that you want. But first, let's just start off with 3 so that I can gauge and see, what your limitations are. And so I think that's my way is I let them know, hey, I totally love the mindset of you wanting to go all in, right? Yeah, I know you want to go all in and I'm all here for it. I'm all in with you. But let's make sure that you can first start with 50% of the workload that you're looking to bring on and see success, and make sure your body can handle it and that you're not under too much stress and pressure. And then we'll build, right? And after 2 months, let's go to 4 days. If you still want to continue down that path and just you're doing okay, let's go to 5. But the biggest thing is making them feel heard that they want to go all in, but kind of taking their words and using it against them, if you will, and putting together a much more approachable plan.
Dude, I like that a lot, and that's I was kind of like doing a leading question there to pretty much to get exactly this.
Yeah.
So that's so huge. You have to meet the emotion with the emotion. Like the guy that comes in 6 days a week that wants to do the crazy stuff, you go, oh hell yeah. Oh, I love that mindset. That's so cool. Like you really want this. Well, let's break it down a little bit, man. So have you ever worked out before? No. Oh wow. Well, going from 0 to 6 is like going from 0 to 100. That's a lot. Why don't we do this instead? Because I want to respect the motivation, the drive, and what you're bringing in here. Because God, that's so powerful. Even though we kind of know it's a little bit more destructive.
Yeah. And I think the big thing there is like, we know as the coaches, as the fitness professionals, that it's no good, right? If somebody comes at you with that kind of energy, we know this is not going to be sustainable for them. So another way that I go about it is, oh, you want to work out 5-6 days a week? Okay, great. How about you train here with me for 3, right? And then I'll give you homework to do on the outside of here, knowing damn well, because they're so new to fitness, that homework's not going to get done, right? Or at least if they're going to try, they're going to fail on their own outside of the gym. And then that's okay. Now they come back to me and tell me they didn't do it. Okay, no worries. Let's readjust the program back to the program I know is sustainable for them, right? So let them try on their own time to get that extra work in, and then dial it back down once they showcase themselves that that's not sustainable, that they can't do it, right? And so that's usually the route I'll go, is I'll give homework on, things to do outside of the gym. And eventually that homework kind of dwells off because they can't sustain it.
Dude, that's huge. And like from a business perspective, that's kind of interesting. Like selling less to sell more.
Exactly.
Almost. Like if someone's coming in, they want to train with you 6 days a week. Let's just say somehow you get them to sign on the dotted line, and you're the kind of sociopath like Aaron and I are that works, more than 5 days a week. But to be someone that goes, hey, I love that. But instead of just immediately selling someone those sessions, that amount, going, hey, let's dial it back so that way they don't start skipping sessions with you. Because as well as I do, once you start skipping sessions, it becomes really easy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's looking at it from the long term of things. What's going to get, as a business standpoint, what's going to get you paid more? The 3 months that they're there for 6 times a week? Before they ultimately quit and realize it's too much, or the 3 times a week sustainability for years, right? You have to look at it, the big picture, just like you're looking at their goal, the big picture, that 6 days a week is too much to sustain for their goal, versus what is best at the 3, maybe maximum 4 days a week that they're going to be, training with you.
One of the things I really like about the fitness industry, or the fitness business, we'll say, is what's best for the client and what's best for the trainer usually tend to line up. Like if you're getting your person success and you're managing it with a long-term perspective, that client's going to make significantly more progress, be happier, be more sustainable, and they're going to get what they came here for. But also, you're going to keep a client a hell of a lot longer, and they're going to spend more money with you. Like that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, that's everything, right? Is retention. Retention for us, it means the world. And I think one big thing is once you have them off their high horse, it's our job to take on the workload and the stress and the building of everything. That our goal is so they come into the gym overthinking, right? Overanalyzing, overshooting for goals, once you take that away from them, they can now kind of feel the freedom of why they hired you, right? So for me, I want to steal that stress away from them, or that overthinking, or that overshooting. I want to steal that away from them, so now that they don't have to think of a thing. All they have to do is follow what you say, because you're the fitness professional. You know best, right? You know what's going to get them to their long-term goal. So once you finally steal that away from them, now they can follow your lead, versus when they came in with that hot, unexpected, sustainability of what their goal is. Once you could steal that away from them, and now that they can follow your lead, they'll actually get to the success quicker.
Dude, I love this. Okay. Well, I do want to put a little bit of a bow on everything we've covered. We've covered so much on what's getting in there, and we are kind of getting close to our hour mark here.
Yeah.
But do you have any last little bits that you want to throw in on what clients can do and what we as trainers can do to best help with success that we haven't kind of touched on so far?
I just think that you have to be ready as a client. You have to really be ready for the journey, right? And not that it all has to be planned, because I think that's kind of planning for failure, is to, then it just gets to the point of just like starting a podcast, right? You plan until nothing gets done, right? And so I think the idea more so than planning is just, you have to be ready to fully commit, right? You have to be ready to commit to the showing up to the gym, the accountability, the nutrition. You have to be willing to go basically all in, but all in the dark, right? Allow yourself to step into that dark, and eventually the light appears as you start to unravel and uncover what it takes to be successful. Because it's really, and I hate saying this because so many people think it's so difficult. It truly is really easy, right? That's the crazy thing about it, is people make it to be this unobtainable thing, and they build this ginormous fear of what they're looking to accomplish. But in all reality, it's simple. That's the thing. What people are scared to do is the simple things, right? And so I think that's the biggest takeaway for clients, is you have to be ready to step into the unknown, and you'll uncover that it's not as difficult as you thought it was going to be.
Dude, I love that. All right, so just to wrap a bow on it, so that way everyone kind of remembers, because hour-long podcast and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's important to walk in when working with your clients on the onset that they are emotion-driven. They are frantic. They want to lose weight desperately. They want to be able to run that mile desperately. Whatever their driver is, there is an element of fear and desperation in their mind. And like with everything in life, fear and desperation always causes people to make sporadic and uninformed decisions. It's our job to meet that emotion on the onset and respect it, make sure we are hearing it, because at the end of the day, your customer is the person that is paying you, so they are the one that does get to have a little bit of a hand on the driving wheel here. They get to dictate some of what we have going on, and we have to shape what it is they want, which is what it is they need as well. Setting mindset is huge. Making sure that you are attacking that you are creating the long-term mindset, not just to get them to their goal, but so that they stay there. It'll help you as a professional, you as a business owner, but most importantly, it will help the client themselves have the most success and actually have a healthy relationship, not just physically, but emotionally with what fitness is. And ultimately, the mindset and how you go about getting to your goal matters significantly more than actually getting there. And above all else, remember, fitness should be simple. It shouldn't be complicated, because a simple plan is a sustainable plan, and a sustainable plan is a successful one. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning on in. We love you. We do have a challenge for you this week that we just came up during this video. Post a video of you going through your day, eating, training, and all. Mess ups, throw it in there. Be human, be insecure. It's okay. Your clients will love you for it. We're all going to do the same. We'll put it up on our channels and we'll link it on over to this. I think we're going to be a little surprised on the type of success we're able to get our clients with doing that. All right, guys. We love you. We'll check you here in the next one. Appreciate you. Cheers.